The slime ball bolorama sorority babes. No, believe it or not, this movie originally was titled The Imp. And then they come up with this incredibly long title, and they end up telling us through mid-shooting that they're going to call it Sorority Babes, the Slime Ball Bolorama, and we were all amazed. But
Michelle Bauer. She's one that had a different trajectory than the other ladies. They're all known for doing, Playboy videos or magazine shoots, but Michelle Bauer went underneath the pseudonym Pia Snow and did a number of adult films, bondage films back in the 80s.
Benet's Bloody Bits.
Welcome to Triple B. My name is Jason Benet. Today on Where's the Blu-Ray, I want to go back to 1987, to the first time that I owned a VCR. So that was the boom of the whole video store era. And I didn't know where to get videos at. That was just a new thing. That's hard to believe, right? Video stores are everywhere. Well, not quite yet. The first video store that I ever went to was inside of a supermarket. It was either one of the major chains. It was either Ralph's or Albertsons or Vaughn's. And I kind of knew from the beginning, I like to rent movies in threes. The first trio of films that I ever rented were A Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn, and Creepshow 2. And although I loved going to theaters, this was a completely new experience to be able to take movies into your home and view them that way. And eventually I branched out and found a Ma and Pa video store. It was actually Asian owned. And it's exactly what you expect when you think about these things now. There was a curtain, a red curtain, kind of hiding the XXX adult films. There was a little new release section, but then their library, kind of new, but not really, films, a lot of horror films. And I would just look at the lurid boxes and it would just bring me in. And one film in particular caught my eye, one that I ended up renting at least 3 times, and that's Terror on Tape. It's a compilation video. So think of like Terror in the Aisles. You remember that one? That was more like A-list horror films like Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and films like that. This was the direct-to-video kind of version of that. B-grade, sometimes Z-grade films. And the film is set in a video store. And the employee is Cameron Mitchell, veteran actor at the time. And his makeup is so heavy and his hair is so wild and he's just a character. And there's different customers that come in and they're looking for things to rent. And one of them ends up being Scream Queen Michelle Bauer. So that just tells you where we're at, right? Late 80s. This is kind of the peak of horror as far as I'm concerned. But the movies that he recommends, I hadn't heard of any of them. Never rented them, never seen them. And that's what was exciting for me, was it was just opening up this Pandora's box of what horror is really about. There's so many subgenres within horror. And the movies that caught my eye, there's a bunch. And this is a Continental video release. It's like a big box VHS. The first one that stuck out for me was a film called Nightmare, also called Nightmares in a Damaged Brain. It's a slasher film, and it's probably one of the dirtiest, meanest, ugliest, kind of 42nd Street Forever. You would see this film and almost like a Pussycat Theater, where guys are wearing raincoats and the floors are sticky. It's a brutal, vicious slasher film. But there's some controversy surrounding it. Controversy surrounding it. It has nothing to do with the violence, though that is really rough to watch. It's that Tom Savini is credited to doing the makeup effects on this film. And that's not true at all. He's on set. There's an infamous picture of him trying to show the little boy how to swing an axe. And so he's kind of like a consultant. But the makeup effects guy is not Tom Savini. And there's rumor that the actual effects person ended up committing suicide. And it's perhaps that they sold this film as You know, Tom Savini was involved, the guy that's responsible for the makeup effects for Dawn of the Dead and Friday the 13th. So that film, I eventually got a hold of it. Love it. You can actually buy it on 4K Blu-ray from Severin Films. And then another one, because I love my creature features and monster films, especially aquatic ones, is Blood Tide. Yeah, it's set in Greece, so it's one of those Nico Mastorakis productions. It's in Greece. It has that look, right? A lot of bricks and white colors and beautiful beaches. And now we have James Earl Jones in this role, the voice of Darth Vader. You have virgins being sacrificed to this monster, so there's some good nudity and great gore, and the scenes are really good. Anytime that you can be on set and not in a studio, and you could be out in the real world, it gives some authenticity to the film. Again, that's another film that's on Blu-ray via Arrow Video. And the last one is a Hammer film from the 70s that was capitalizing on the success of The Exorcist, and it's called To the Devil a Daughter. That stars Christopher Lee, Natasha Kinski, who's the daughter of Klaus Kinski. And again, another one of these, a product of its time. This is not a Hammer 60s film. This is full frontal nudity, Christopher Lee, a little monster that goes down on a girl. It has some naughty bits for sure. There's quite a few films in here. There's some Herschel Gordon Lewis that's on Terror on tour. There's some other films, but those three really made me fans of this compilation. Eventually, I own all these films and love them. And the ironic thing is, most of the titles that are represented on Terror on Tape, you can buy them on Blu-ray. But I'd really like to own Terror on Tape because it is an encapsulation of the VHS video store era that is long gone. Yes, there are still brick and mortar video stores around, but we will never, ever back to that point of video stores being like the breadwinners that they were. It's just not going to happen. We have streaming, we have digital, and we have way too many options. We order directly from these boutique labels. But I still hold great memories in my heart. I was a video store employee from basically 1992 to 2006. I was a manager at Blockbuster Video, Suncoast Motion Picture Company, and I rounded it out with the stint at DVD Planet. So I have great memories of video stores. I think now the video store experience is you kind of creating it in your house. And you see it, all the pictures of people, whether they, or if you're watching a video, they're doing unboxings or on social media, you see people with pictures with their collections. And I have quite a few films as well. You might not see them in my videos. I kind of feel it's a cliche and I wanted to be different. So I wanted my channel to be more like a interactive experience, almost like you're sitting in a studio, like you would see on an extra feature on a physical media release. But yeah, Terror on Tape. I'd love to see it on Blu-ray. It's long overdue. But you can check it out. It's available where you know where to look. And like I said, most of the films that are represented on Terror on Tape, you can buy those. But yeah, thank you guys for watching as usual. Stay scared and talk to you soon.